And just hours from now, FBI Director Kash Patel is going to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee, where he'll potentially face some intense scrutiny from lawmakers. The hearing's set for 9 a.m. Eastern time, and it's called Oversight of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Now, this is going to be the first time Patel has testified before the committee since his confirmation hearing. 4 former FBI officials and 2 administration officials tell NBC News Patel's activities during the initial investigation of Charlie Kirk's assassination could raise questions from lawmakers about his decision-making during a crisis. The sources said from the shooting Wednesday to the suspect's arrest Friday, Patel took steps that gave pause to some federal and local officials and raised questions about his judgment. Those actions ranged from where Patel was on the evening of the assassination to what a former official described as his, quote, grandstanding about his own role after the arrest. Specifically, just hours after Kirk was shot at Utah Valley University, Patel dined at an exclusive New York restaurant, according to 2 sources familiar with his whereabouts. Later that evening, Patel posted on social media that the subject in Kirk's killing was, quote, in custody. But roughly 90 minutes later, Patel posted a follow-up to that message, saying the suspect in custody had been released after an interrogation by law enforcement. 4 former senior FBI officials told NBC News that those posts were premature and, frankly, unnecessary. Joining us now, NBC News and MSNBC legal analyst Danny Ceballos. Danny, I want to turn to this hearing that we're going to see later today. What are you expecting to hear from Kash Patel? What are you going to be watching for from him as he testifies before lawmakers for the first time?
I expect 2 major points of inquiry. One is going to be Patel's investigation of the Kirk assassination. And, of course, as you mentioned, some of his questionable conduct, like going to a fancy dinner the night of the shooting. Never a good idea for political officials, no matter what side they're on, whether it's French Laundry or Rao on the Upper East Side. That is something you can expect he'll be asked about. And also, I expect we're going to hear that Patel's going to be asked about some of the recent high-profile firings at the Bureau, at the agency, that have sparked some lawsuits alleging that Patel is doing it as a kind of political retribution. So those are 2 major topics I expect we're likely to hear today.
And when you say Rao's and French Laundry, Rao's is reportedly where Patel had been dining, and then French Laundry is a bit of a callback to the pandemic time when Governor Gavin Newsom was dining there against COVID restrictions in the state. But I want to talk about Patel's actions in the immediate aftermath of the Charlie Kirk shooting, especially around his social media posts. From a legal perspective, when you hear former FBI officials coming out and saying that wasn't necessary, it ends up being that he kind of put out misinformation at the peak moment that people were just searching for anything around what was going on with this suspect. What's the impact of the FBI director putting that stuff out there and then having to say, no, never mind, that suspect actually isn't the right person?
Yeah, I'll take you back to about half a century ago to show how much norms have changed on this issue. Back during the Charles Manson trial in Los Angeles, this was a major issue because President Nixon at the time opined loosely that Manson might have been guilty, and that almost caused a mistrial. And oh, how the norms and standards have changed today. You have officials who are directly commenting on investigations in a way that could compromise not only the case itself, but a potential jury pool. But that is the way it has evolved over time now that we have so many avenues for information, whether it be television, social media, whatever the case may be. And now we're in an era where officials get their message out directly to the public by using social media. So these changing, evolving norms require us to reevaluate what exactly officials should say and when they should say it.